everyone, and welcome back to Playlist Pages. Today we're talking about the poem So We'll Go No More Roving by Lord Byron, another video in my romantic series. As usual, I'll start with a summary and then dive straight into the line-by-line analysis. So We'll Go No More Roving is a poem written by Lord Byron in a letter to his friend Thomas More. Now, in case you somehow don't know, I say somehow because Lord Byron was notoriously a party person. I mean, he got up to some pretty wild and scandalous things in his youth. Sleeping around, running away with people, mostly young women, so some very problematic, scandalous for the time things. And in this letter to Thomas More, by this point he was exiled for a year because of other horrible, terrible things he's done. He was in Venice actually, and Venice is pretty much a very nice place to be exiled to because there's constant exile, there's constant carnivals and partying, and he wrote this letter after likely partying a little bit too much. We don't know the exact details, but the biography seems to suggest something like this. So in the poem, he's partied a little bit too much, and he decides to pledge that he's not gonna go out again. Probably because he's hungover, ill, sleep deprived, tired, so he's like, yeah, no, I'm never going out partying again. This was actually based on a Scottish ballad attributed to James V. And will gang nae more a roving, say late into the night, and will gain no more a roving, boys, let the moon shine never so bright. Sorry for butchering that pronunciation. So maybe one day Byron was drunk. Maybe one day he heard this rowdy Scottish ballad and he decided to do his own take and make it about himself. Essentially, in Byron's poem, he says, I won't go out so late anymore, even though my heart wants to, and the night is still young, and it's not so late, and the day always comes too quickly, and I really want to, but I shouldn't, because my sexual desire has worn out my body physically, and my heart is tired, and my very soul is tired, so we're gonna take it easy. Will he take it easy? Something in the tone suggests that maybe he might not, but let's get into the line-by-line analysis, and you can see for yourself. So we'll go no more a roving, so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. So structure-wise, the poem is composed of 3 quatrains, 3 stanzas of 4 lines each, and the rhyme is very stable, A, B, A, B, so there is almost a little bit of a positive beat, which maybe shows his determination, like, yeah, sure, I'm never gonna go out partying again, I'm determined, I've made the pledge, which also maybe perhaps emphasizes that it could be a tune, that it could be a ballad to sing along in a pub crawl, to just bang your cups against the table and say, yeah, sure, we won't go out partying anymore, but not today. And something in the tone just suggests that there's a but not today. But also maybe it's a way for the speaker to convince himself, because he clearly doesn't want to do this, he clearly doesn't want to stop partying. And the use of the conjunction so in the first paragraph, it shows that there's a conclusion that stems from it. Sorry, in the first stanza. So it's a decision that he has come to. It's a decision that he must make. And so we must stop partying so late into the night. Rowing, by the way, means rowdy activities like, sexual affairs, love acts, drinking, partying, just the usual kind of nightlife, young men, Lord Byron's time activities. So he's saying, so no more we will go. And you're left wondering, so why so? Like, what happened to make him stop this? What particular event made him decide that that's it, we must do this no more? And there's a sense of mystery that's built through this, a mystery that's answered in the second stanza. But the second line is so late into the night. Again, there's a so a repetition of sorts, but this so seems to change the meaning, because essentially he's saying, so we won't go partying anymore. So late into the night. It's almost as if he's saying, yeah, we won't go partying just so late. Like, we won't go until 6 a.m. We'll just go until 4 instead. That's sort of the implication of the so, or it could be at least read in this way, which I think, given the fact that the whole tone is sort of tongue-in-cheek, the lines are very playful, they jump from one thing to another, I think there's sort of this implication that you could read it as he's saying, we just won't go partying so late, like, we just won't do this so much anymore, but we'll still do it. And because the lines have no stable meter, like, they don't have a set number of syllables or stressed on stressed, they sort of alternate the stressed on stressed part, there's a sort of playful playfulness, a sort of volatility, which again suggests that maybe this is just like a fun pledge rather than a serious one, but also at the same time the assonance in "so we'll go no more rowing," these long oo sounds, it sort of suggests that maybe he's mourning the loss, which I think he clearly is, because he complains that, oh, but the moon is still bright, oh, but we still have time, but no, we're determined to not go out anymore. Even though the heart still loves, even though the moon is still bright. And notice also how it's like, we'll go no more rowing, even though we still love, and we won't go so late into the night, even though the moon is bright. So there's a sort of syntactic parallelism here, continuing that idea of desire and longing and saying, well, actually, as much as I say this, I still want this. Sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. So then we finally have the reason. It's because the sword outwears the sheath. So from a literal standpoint, if you imagine a sharp weapon and the sheath is the thing that holds it, so when you draw it out, of course, naturally the sword scratches the soft fabric, and over time you have to replace your sheath because that's it, it's falling apart. And from like a metaphorical standpoint, this is another phallic symbol. So the sword is wearing out its sheath, except in this case, sheath is like the more general carrier of the sword bearer, aka the man whose virility and sexual longing has left him exhausted. In other words, his own lust wears out his organs, he's physically tired, and to add to that, the soul, the heart wears out the breast. So his heart is beating so hard that he's just tired. His soul is so eager to go out partying that his entire being is tired because he knows that he was not meant for these ungodly things. So he's tired physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And notice how the heart needs time to pause, to rest adequately. So maybe because he's so excited, it keeps beating the dum dum dum, and it's just beating too fast for him, so it needs time. Love itself needs to rest. So yes, I am a being that's so full of love, that's so capable of longing and lust and desire, but even my love needs to rest. Even I need to pause my partying, is what he's saying here. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon. So, although the night is meant to do this, and although it's always the case that the day comes too quickly, still, we're determined. We'll not go out loving. We won't go out by the light of the moon. We're not going to go into the darkness, into the night. Here there's antithetical parallelism. In general, there's a lot of parallelism in this poem. So here he's saying, like, though the night is made for loving, but here is the day that comes too soon. So the night is there to be juxtaposed with the day. The day is, oh no, of course it comes too quickly. Life is too short. All the bad things take so long. The good things are so short. The day is there to bring the mundane, the ordinary back into our life, the boring, the steady. And the night is there full of excitement, but it goes away too quickly. So there's a sad and longing tone here, and there's an idea of the moon typically used as a symbol of femininity and love and mystery, purity, and all these kinds of things. And yet here he's saying, so we won't go out by the light of the moon, so we won't sort of go out into the night where all this is there, but still there's a sort of wistful tone here. So it's almost as, so he's made this pledge at the beginning and he's like, so I'll do this, but even at the end he's like, but the night is still young, but I want to do this. So it does suggest that he's really uncertain about this pledge, that he needs to constantly remind himself of his desire to stop partying. So in general, it seems very uncertain that he'll actually do this. So the tone doesn't really suggest a positive dynamic in changing Lord Byron's behavior. So, but maybe I'm too cynical. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed an analysis of a very entertaining and fun poem. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.